Hey everybody, Alex Kazora, SteelersDepot.com, back for another Pittsburgh Steelers analysis and recap of their first loss of 2020, falling to Washington football team 23 to 17. Pittsburgh falls to 11 and 1 on the season, and as we talked about throughout the week, this was going to be a tougher game than what the records may have shown, and obviously it was, and a lot to talk about today. So let's dive right in. And really, overall, it was a fairly carbon copy of what happened Wednesday against Baltimore. And I guess that shouldn't be a surprise given it was such a short week and injuries piled up. And you kind of knew coming into this game, Pittsburgh on a short week. Washington, they got to play on Thanksgiving. Pittsburgh beat up at cornerback, not having their kicker. And all those things impacted this game, no doubt. But to start with the Pittsburgh Steelers offense, again, it is more of the same. It is putting everything on Big Ben, asking him to throw 50 times. I believe he threw the ball 51 times today, and just no semblance of a run game. And as I've said before, it's not that you need a great running game or a good running game or even an average running game, but you have to be able to run the ball situationally and have trust in your run game to run it situationally. And the Steelers don't have either of those things right now. That goal line sequence was the ugliest that you've seen. You ran how many plays at the 1, 6, 7, 8? You throw to Gerald Hawkins, your tackle. If that, of course, doesn't work, and Snow can't punch it in. Ebron misses a block on fourth down that cost you a touchdown trying to block Chase Young. That's just abysmal. I mean, you ran for 21 yards today. I think the tied for the third fewest for the Steelers since the merger, average 1.5 yards per carry. And the effect that has is whenever you get in other situations like the third and fourth and one late in the game with about 5 minutes to go where Tomlin went for it, you're not running the football at all. And I'm not opposed to going for it on either of the fourth and goal or the fourth and one. I'm not even opposed to throwing, but you got to have better play calls than that, obviously. And so there were some situational play calling problems. There were a ton of drops in this one as well. And those things obviously don't fall on the coaching staff, they fall on the players. Ebron was brutal with the drops today, and Deontay Johnson did his best to match him. At least Deontay had some positive plays for the offense and caught a touchdown pass on a really nice route on the goal line. But the situational play call was, you're sitting there fourth and one, 5 minutes to go, could try a 45-yard field goal. Obviously, you don't have Chris Boswell, Matthew Wright making his NFL debut, so I get going for it there. I'm not mad at going for it, but I mean, that's the play call you want to run. You're going to go, 12 personnel, empty, split McFarland out and try to run this sluggo. And I get actually was a pretty decent route by McFarland, and the throw wasn't great. But you haven't practiced that play. I mean, Ben didn't practice at all during the week. I mean, maybe they did it in a walkthrough on what would that be, Sunday, I suppose. But you're asking a rookie receiver to run a route he really hasn't run before with a quarterback who hasn't thrown it. You're just asking a lot of newness in there, and you're just asking for trouble to basically do have a play call that you just haven't run all year and putting these guys in new and uncomfortable situations. And so with fourth and one, game on the line, you don't want to kick the field goal, fine, but you got to get the ball to your playmakers, Juju, Washington, Claypool, anybody else, literally any other play call there would work. And so you saw the fourth and goal against Baltimore last week that resulted in the interception. You go heavy with Derek Watt and Vance McDonald, Benny Snell, and that, of course, doesn't work. You're just putting a lot of these guys in new situations and you're just overthinking it. I get that there's frustration and some of these receivers aren't doing their job and catching the ball and not getting the basics down. And I understand that as a frustrating element of this offense that's continued for at least two games now. But you're just being too cute with the offense for sure. And so there were obviously issues with the line not getting a push, with the receivers not catching the football. Ben was not perfect either, but there were some really big situational play calls where this team is overthinking it and it's really costing them. Defensively, it kind of felt like Baltimore, where you did a good job overall, but you gave up some chunk plays. Whether that was the third and 14 backbreaking screen that Cam Sims that went for 30 plus yards. The other one that Cam Sims that led to the game, eventual game winning field goal with 40 something yards down the right sideline on Cam Sutton. And just overall, yeah, you just gave up those kind of big plays. I mean, for most of the game, Washington couldn't run the football. They lost their top running back, Antonio Gibson. They were in third and long repeatedly throughout most of the game, especially all the first half, essentially. You just gave up one or two chunk plays, but if the offense does their job, puts points on the board, you win this one. Not to excuse the defensive issues, but they're obviously dealing with more injuries. You lose Joe Hayden in this game. Came into this game without Steven Nelson. Robert Spillane goes down with a knee injury. So Avery Williamson has to step into a bigger role. overall. I think it did lead to some communication problems. You kind of see they were late getting set up in some moments, and just probably wasn't the crispest and most efficient job of getting play calls in and getting guys lined up. And you kind of felt that more in the second half as Washington got the ball to guys like J.D. McKissick and Cam Sims, and Logan Thomas, of course, had a big game, couple of key catches down near the goal line, one for a touchdown, the other one got them to the 1 yard line that led to an eventual Washington touchdown. So, yeah, I mean, you were up 14-3 in this one. You let them kick the field goal at the end of the half. That one certainly hurt. And yeah, just kind of let Washington climb back into this game. Overall, special teams was fine. Barry, I thought, did well. Matthew Wright, his first game, 3 for 3 on field goals, 2 extra points in a field goal attempt. So kudos to him for that. McLeod, a little dicey with some of the ball security stuff, but none of that really killed you. Kick coverage could have been a little bit better, but it was mostly fine as well. I mean, some of you guys played well. I mean, whether you're talking, T.J. Watt, Cam Hayward, I thought did well. Mike Hilton was awesome in this game. He's going to get paid in the offseason. You can clearly see that. Probably not by Pittsburgh, though, just given how much he's going to command overall in free agency. But yeah, just a sloppy game. It's a tired team. It's a team that isn't focused, sloppy. They're beating themselves, and coaches aren't helping matters with play calls that aren't putting guys in the best positions to succeed. So another short week coming up here with Buffalo, who's playing right now. So they'll have a short week as well, obviously. But Pittsburgh could really use some rest and a reset here, and yeah, just got to be better situationally, better possession downs, and it's it's a little uncomfortable right now for sure. Obviously, there's a lot of frustration here, but the perspective's important. It is 11-1 team. They're going to make the playoffs. The sun's going to rise tomorrow, so there'll be better versions of this team. Hopefully, at least we believe there will be. And obviously, that test will start Sunday night versus Buffalo. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know if there's anything else I missed I needed to talk about. I'm sure there was something. We'll be sure to recap this game and have some videos with a critical eye of this team overall in the next couple of days. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.